welcome back to another video. Today we are on day 7 of the 31 days of tarot. I like the number 7, so let's have a good time. So today's question is, what tarot card has stalked you this year? Well, of 2019, obviously. To be honest, I didn't really need to think about it too much because I've been very aware of the stalking that's been occurring in my life, and it's been coming from this guy. Yep, this guy here, Judgment. How do I feel about Judgment stalking me this year? To be honest, I wasn't a fan, you know, because it took me a while to sort of accept the message that the Judgment card was bringing to me. And he was basically letting go of a lot of things in my life, a lot of people, a lot of guilt, a lot of dreams that maybe I need to let go, and patterns and cycles and fears, all the stuff I needed to let go of this year and start afresh for 2020. And this is why I definitely can say that 2019 has been my hardest year yet. It's been really difficult, and I didn't think, you know, I would be saying that because I've had a few difficult years of recent. Yeah, it's just been hard and challenging, and realising a lot of things about myself and things that I no longer want to accept and how I want to live my life now. So I feel like this card has taught me that I definitely was feeling responsible for other people's happiness. I find myself often in positions where I'm sort of always trying to help other people, and that doesn't necessarily mean I don't enjoy that or I feel burdened by that. It's just something I naturally find myself in a position of, because I genuinely want to see everybody at their best, and I want to see people thriving, especially the people I love. But sometimes you can't help people. People need to help themselves. That's definitely something I've had to learn, to be able to let go of things. I touched on this quite a lot in my cat is playing around. This is stuff that I touched on quite a lot in my holiday vlog, where I dived into a lot of meditation, and I got a lot of realizations on that trip, where I realized I was kind of more focused on other people and their happiness than I was of my own, and how I felt like, or maybe I was even sacrificing my own future for the sake of being wrapped up in other people, basically. And it's not in a bad way. Like, I don't blame any of those people. I don't blame anyone, even myself. You know, it's letting go of even blaming yourself when it comes to this subject, because I don't think I'm alone when it comes to going through these sort of judgment years. But the judgment year, it really calls for you to finally step into your own power and finally cut those cords that need to be cut and embrace new horizons. Start afresh, start heading towards your joy. And that is definitely my plan for 2020. I definitely don't want to get myself too wrapped up in the outside world. I definitely this year do want to focus on my own inner peace and equilibrium. I really, in a really non-selfish way, because I truly believe that if we all did this a bit more, we wouldn't have such a codependent society we want to be interdependent, in my opinion anyway. I definitely feel having this judgment year is what has really inspired this shift in myself. Something that I've really been called to understand and embrace with the judgment card stalking me this year is that there is no one to blame. And I know I've sort of said that, but just understanding and seeing that things need to change. A wake-up call is happening, and even if we have to do drastic things like maybe even cut people out of our lives or completely change jobs or anything that relates to you in your life, I'm not going to go into the details of my own personal life, but I definitely realised, because I always blame myself and sometimes others, but more myself for a lot of things that happen. And the judgment card for sure is all about accepting that some things are meant to be as they're meant to be, and there's nobody to blame. There was, even if it's a bad experience, there was a lesson to be learned, and there's so much to gain from those lessons, so much, because we learn from lessons and we end up not repeating, not going in cycles and patterns of same behaviours and not learning. We need to learn from the lessons. And when the judgment card comes up, you know it's truly time for you to learn that lesson, right? One more note that I want to make about me having a year being stalked by the judgment card is that it's taken me on more of a deeper dive on my inner journey than I've ever experienced in previous years. This year, this card has seriously called me in, and this year technically for me has been my hermit year. So my birth card for 2019 was the hermit card, and that resonated very true, especially when it came to the last 2/3 of the year. I really spent a lot of time going within, a lot of time by myself, a lot of time really reflecting on the past decade. So it kind of made sense that I was experiencing this in 2019, right before I'm about to enter into this fresh new decade, and I'm able to now bring in these new fresh energies that I have been working on within throughout 2019. And I definitely would say in the last 2 months of 2019 is when I really did that inner dive with the judgment card. And even though I might have not necessarily been working with the judgment card when it came to reflecting now on the cards that have been stalking me, without doubt I know that this is the number one card that's been coming up. So yeah, that is the end of the video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any interesting experiences yourself with the judgment card, I would love to hear them below. I was never a massive fan of the judgment card, but it's definitely brought me a lot of teachings, a lot of lessons in 2019, and although I won't lie, I do hope that it now stops stalking me, because I'd like to move on to the next stage, what it's been preparing me for, and the new chapter, releasing of the old and stepping into the new. Yeah, I'd love to hear what you've got to say, and maybe if you had a different card, I'd love to hear what your stalker card was for 2019. I hope that you enjoyed this video.